Dead bug leg circles is a fantastic progression to work on the control of your tilt and rotation of your pelvis by getting the deep core or your TVA more involved. So the setup for this is just like a regular dead bug. You're going to start by lying on your back. Now here I want the pelvis to be somewhat neutral, which means you could probably fit a marble, or potentially the lower back is somewhat closer to the floor, a marble in between the low back and the floor, right? You don't want to have an excessive arch like so, right? And at the same time, you don't need to be completely smashed in with a posterior pelvic tilt like this as well. So just let the hips kind of settle onto the floor. That's probably a good place to start. Then we're going to get our TVA on by taking a breath in. And on the exhale, I'm going to think about pulling my hip bones together. As you do that, you should feel your stomach tighten up. There should be some firmness through there now. And it should feel different to as though you were doing a crunch, yeah? And this is how you know your deep core is on. So one more time, I'm going to take a breath in. As I exhale, pull the hip bones together. From there, I'm going to try and maintain this contraction as I take the knees up over the hips. And you know you're getting really good at this when you can talk comfortably and breathe normally while maintaining this ab contraction. So from here, I'm going to keep my hands on my hip bones so that I can get some feedback if there's any rotational movement. But with the knees bent initially, we're going to drop one leg down. The knee comes out to the side, I sweep around and come back up. Same thing other side, drop it down, knee goes out to the side, sweep around and back. And now the goal is to try and do this without letting the pelvis move at all. That's where the core control comes onto. So for example, if I go too far out to the side and my whole pelvis actually shifts, I've done too much. So the magic in this is actually when you do less than you think and keep the pelvis super still. Of course, we can always make it harder by, for example, straightening the legs, dropping down and coming out. But I would really try and own this fundamental movement first before making it onto those harder progressions. And a good sign is if you start to get low back pain as you straighten the legs, potentially you might not be ready for it. But as I mentioned before, with the breathing, in terms of me being able to breathe and brace at the same time and talk, that's also key. So as you're going through this, try not to hold your breath. What I like to work on is taking a breath in as I come down and then breathing out as I sweep the leg around. In that way, I'm using my breath to guide the movement, and my breath is constant throughout. And I'm teaching that TVA to be able to contract no matter the situation of my breath, no matter the situation of the femur in relation to where the hip socket is, etc. So give this one a go. Take it slow, smaller steps than you think, and you'll have a stronger core before you know it.